It's Shea, and you're listening to Bible, Babes, and Banter.
What's going on, people? It's your boy Emmanuel.
You're on the big end of the south side. You're listening to Bible, Babes, and Banter.
I think as a hobby, you have to monetize everything. Do you get me? If someone says you're good at painting, so you're painting. If someone says you're good at making art, fam, so you're art. If someone says you're good at like recording your own videos, fam, become an influencer or like shoot videos. Do you get me?
Yeah.
What, you just enjoy doing it?
I think it's just it's because now there's so much of an opportunity to make money out of it, innit? And because a lot of people aren't necessarily in things that they actually full-fledged enjoy, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So whereby like you're in a workplace whereby you're just doing it just for the sake of doing it, but you're also sick at taking pictures or something, and that's your hobby, but you're proper good at it. And then like you can see somebody else who's taking pictures and you're thinking, bro, like Shay's thing is as good as my man, but my man is making bread off of it, innit? So it's like why wouldn't you try and use that to
I feel
make
like
peace?
sometimes though the monetizing element it can just take the fun out.
It takes away, I get it.
Yeah, man.
It takes away the like fam.
That's what I'm trying to say. Enjoy it first,
100% get what you mean still. Because it's like it becomes
a thing
so
you have
much
to do.
in it. Like you must do it. That's even
what I mean?
like so. Even having conversations with people that I know that do like vlogging and that, like initially they were just they started doing it just because it was fun, innit? Something that they liked. Obviously, you put it out there now, you get a bit of a following now, and now like there's a certain expectation of you to do certain things now, and there's a certain pressure on you.
Expectation.
And now you don't really like it anymore like that because like the fun is taken out of it. Now it's a lot more like transactional, innit? Before when it was like something that was innocent.
Even with like the artwork for the actual for this podcast. So obviously now I've done it.
That's exactly what we said.
And we were the ones telling you.
We're the ones
actually,
telling you to do it.
why do you do it? It's true. But do you enjoy doing that though?
Yeah, to a certain degree, but I just don't enjoy it. I've clocked now, I don't enjoy the back and forth. Like I don't enjoy. Do you know what it is as well, You know, like even with you lot, I had to do the thing where like just send me a proper picture. You lot were sending me some jazz. I can't even lie.
I didn't even have any pictures, man. The one I sent you was alright, man.
No, man. You sent me something mad.
What?
I ended up finding the picture for you myself.
No, you did. What? The one when I was laughing. I sent you one when I was laughing though.
Yeah,
that
but
one
it was just a silly picture to use. It's just a silly picture to use.
This guy's like,
but just little things like that makes me feel like, I don't really want to do this as a business because the whole going back and forth with people is just going to be long. And you know, like, do you know what it is, I understand from even when I'm doing work in the house and I'm getting a workman to do it, and I'm thinking, like I'm explaining to him, this is what I want you to do. But he's with his professional expertise is like, that's not gonna look good, bro, man. Let me just do this sort of thing, But I'm stubborn because I'm like, nah, man, this is what I want. Fam, I can't be bothered to do with something like that. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I hear it.
So,
but I think to answer your question, it's like more so like because there's the capacity to earn like a lot.
You
get what I mean? That's why.
So I will do it to a certain degree because it just makes sense.
I always like encourage that. So for example, like whatever it is you're doing, if you're good at anything, innit? Like I'm always like, like so. Have you ever thought about basically trying to monetize it, trying to make peace?
No,
especially if I know like you're just like
And so it is. You gotta encourage having more
than one stream of income.
Exactly, more than one stream of like revenue, income, whatever it is. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Just because like fam, in this world, listen, just doing the 9 to 5 thing, fam. Don't get it twisted. It will pay the bills. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And it can work out for some people, and it's working well for some people. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But at the same time, it's always good to have stuff outside that you actually enjoy. And if you can get paid from it as well, that's a plus. That's a win-win situation.
I think a lot of people probably start. A lot of these like influencers, for example, like they probably did just start off cool. Like I look nice today. Like here's my outfit, and just was consistent with it. And now it's
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like maybe this might be the wrong way to look at it, but I genuinely believe like they get into it knowing that they want to become an influencer.
I think now though.
Okay, before before it was different.
I think before like when it wasn't
everything's
like
changed now though, man.
Before when it wasn't like a thing whereby it's like, nah, you can actually like a kind of like a quote unquote job role or like a title now, innit? Before, I think a lot of the people who are like really, really big now, they were kind of like part of those who were kind of just consistent, but from way back when, innit? But now it's like a thing whereby if you jump on now, I guess again like the joy might be taken out of it. I don't know because I'm not influencer, innit? But with people that I've spoken to about it, sometimes the joy is taken out of it and you can't really like do things a certain way because now you have a demographic that wants certain videos from you and
you gotta be real consistent in that, innit?
You gotta be mad consistent as well.
No,
kind of stuff.
You can't post one day you're posting private jet, the next day you're posting Indomie and your shorts are locked. You've got holes in your socks.
What's funny is I remember asking someone, an influencer one time, we were just chatting in it, and obviously, because their page is so tailored, do you get me? Is that you can't just put anything. So you know how right now I can put my Insta story, the fact that we're here.
Yeah.
Then the next moment I can just post anything.
Yeah.
I can just, do you get me? Whereas their thing, they can't do that. They can't just post anything. Do you get me? There needs to be some sort of consistency or
theme,
it needs to match the theme of the. Do you know what I mean? I was like, fam.
Yeah.
Think about the thought that has to go into that. For us, this is fun. For you, this is a job.
Yeah.
The maddest thing, I've got a bridge in that. You know him as well, innit? He goes on holidays and that, and his Instagram is patterned. Like, he knows how to take good pictures. Like, the aesthetics are crazy.
Yeah.
And like, he goes to nice places, obviously. Like, even when he goes to LA and that, like, fam, the way he takes pictures, you would think that he's in, like, I don't know, man, like, I don't know where to say, bro. You'd think he's at the top of the shard or something. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, everywhere he goes, it's just patterned. And he's not an influencer. But he just likes to take good
content, innit?
Yeah, exactly. Good pictures. I was about to say good photos. It's actually mad.
And I guess that's an example of somebody who, like, it's a hobby, kind of, I guess, to travel and document your travels.
Yeah, exactly.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, man's trying to actually do, like, be an
exactly.
influencer or whatever.
But someone like that, I would encourage to look into that. Because, do you know what I mean? If you're good at something, fam, look into how you can make money out of it, innit? Do you know what I mean? Because do you know what it is, at first, I think what everyone's thinking as well is like, even for me, with this artwork thing, it's like, right, listen, alright, cool. So at first, I might do it here and there for a little change here and there, But if it actually can end up being something that, right, I don't need to work 9 to 5, I can just do this, and it's something that I enjoy to a certain degree, then why not?
Yeah,
do you know what I'm trying to say?
100% still. That's why people, they'll be clearing 2 bags for a picture, bruv. For a picture in front of a mirror, fam.
It's true.
It's mad still.
I deal with someone famous now, and they'll be like, they'll endorse it and that, and then boom.
That's it.
100%
still.
I think you just got to make sure you don't lose your passion for it, man.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Which is difficult.
Yeah.
But you just got to
and I think
try and make
sometimes,
sure,
like, I guess with people in general, I've heard, like, music artists say this as well, like, kind of like they have to, like, separate themselves from, like, the whole hustle and bustle of everything, innit? To actually, like, rediscover, like, why it is that I actually like doing this thing and kind of like fall in love with it again, innit? Yeah. And then they'll come back with like one mad like album or something like that, and that's like the best album they've ever done because they've gone back to the root of like why it is they're doing what they're doing, innit?
It's like people taking sabbaticals from work. Like one of my boys took a sabbatical from work last year. And just taking that year out to be like, yo, let me rediscover what I actually want to do. Yeah. And not just like get stuck in the routine of, because I'm doing this now,
so sweet,
this is just what I'm doing.
Yeah. Can't lie to you, fam. If I try to take sabbatical, they'll give me a brown envelope, bro. Start telling me, yeah, that's fine, take. When I come back after a year, I'll be knocking on the door, they won't be letting me in. You know that you with the sad face? Like, fam, it's so hard to explain what I'm talking about. There's that meme with the guy and he's at the window and he's got a mad sad face.
He's a black youth.
Yeah,
I think I know what you're talking about. He's like a little boy. I think I know what you're talking about still.
Nah, he's a bit, he's not a little boy.
I swear, that's a different thing though.
But yeah,
different.
Would you date an influencer?
You know what's so funny, because I remember there was a time when I'd say no, innit?
Why?
Because it's just like...
Because he's a jazz guy, man. Do you know why?
Explain.
I'll tell you exactly why.
Point evidence, explain. Go on.
Good. And I'll tell you why I think he would have said no as well.
So he would have said no because...
Oh, wait, hold on. Anima, don't lie as well. If he's right...
No, I'll tell the truth, man.
Go on.
Alright, cool. So basically, girls that are influencers are a certain type of girl. And they are attracted to a certain type of man. Yeah? And they're basically not serious. Yeah? So... No. That's how you would have thought back in the day. So I'm not... This is not how you think now. This is how you would have thought back in the day. So basically, what I'm trying to project to you is exactly what kind of conversation or where you was coming from when I had a conversation with you similar. I'm just trying to say exactly what you was projecting in that conversation, about someone that I was looking at, is exactly how you would think about influence.
Chat conversations.
Yeah. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You know when he does that thing, he starts shaking, he says, girls like that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You start doing all of that kind of stuff, bro. Talking about how they're not sick.
I actually hear it.
Go on, what's your thing?
It's kind of that you...
Well, maybe he can articulate it better, but you mean the same thing, man.
I think before, you would have thought an influencer is a certain type of girl, innit? That thinks a particular way that's not in line with the way that...
You wouldn't think you can get a good girl if she was an influencer, basically.
No, it's not because of that still.
Your mind has changed.
No. I mean, like, back then it wasn't because I didn't think that she was a good girl, innit?
Okay, why?
So again, like, I think, like, I boxed her in terms of, like, character traits and certain things that, like, she would probably be like this, innit? But it wasn't because she wouldn't necessarily be a good girl.
Okay, so when I say good girl, I didn't articulate myself properly. When I say good girl, it's like good girl for you, as in what you see a good girl as. As in, you know when we spoke about, cool, what's your top 3 traits and all that kind of stuff? You would expect that none of these girls have those top 3 traits, which is the good girl.
It's true.
Yeah.
So the compassion, the heart of compassion, and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
It's true.
I hear that. Because I remember one time there was a girl and she looked and again, like, so something, an incident had happened where one of the man had ended up being with somebody who I thought was like from the outside looking in was like, oh yeah, like she's nice, but she looks like she's probably like this, innit? And that changed my mind, didn't it? So now it's like,
You're
cool,
mad
like,
prejudice.
yeah, hey, I felt like I was.
Man, these times your boy has married a girl.
Hey, I was.
Fam.
I was.
And it's funny because the instance you lot are talking about now, you lot are talking in the group chat, and you lot are just going back and forth. And I don't know who you're talking about because I wasn't at the motive. So I don't know who you lot were talking about. So I'm just hearing both sides, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the way you're describing it, and the way that Abhedi described it, it's just bare different.
Yeah,
I'm thinking, fam, who's right? I'm thinking, fam, who's actually
But
right?
you know,
And what I liked about so with you, you don't let it go in terms of like you want to know the actual reason, innit?
Yeah.
And what's funny is that I didn't really have an actual reason.
yeah.
So I just might be like, fam. Like,
But I get it though, man, because
like,
you get gut feelings about stuff. I hear it.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying? But then, do you know what it is as well? Yeah, this is the thing as well. When you actually get to know somebody, yeah,
No, for real.
you
that whole
actually
changes,
And do
100%.
you know what? We had a conversation time ago. I don't know if you remember when we was talking about Raw, like how, like Shay was saying how it's kind of annoying. Yeah, if a girl's like Raw, she doesn't want a bad guy, for example, or you're with a guy that's obviously slot. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like he's obviously doing a madness on the roads right now, yeah, and you're thinking, fam, like. You're saying you don't want trouble. You're saying you don't want a guy like this, that, and the other. You're saying you don't want a guy with a red hat. This guy's wearing a red hat, and you're with him. And I was like, in that conversation, I was like, raw. But you don't know what that guy in the red hat is saying to this girl. He's struggling with certain things, yeah. And he might be saying to her, like, listen, I'm trying to come out of it. Yeah. I'm trying so hard, like, da-da-da. She's obviously she believes him in it. So she believes him in it. So, like, so my whole point is that what he's saying to her, you're not privy to that conversation. Yeah. So you don't actually know what that person's actually like. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You're always from the outside looking in, which is such a dangerous position to be in.
So obviously to
make judgments.
After that situation, I've now flipped it in and changed in terms of like kind of like anybody can get it kind of thing.
No,
it really,
fam, I would even go as far as saying that you flipped it so you are now looking for what you would have ignored before.
Say that again?
To a certain degree.
Say again?
Now he's
What are you talking about? What's he talking about?
Now it's like, okay, cool.
About?
Let me just, I'm going to say it in plain English, yeah, and I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, innit?
Yeah, man, let's
But
just
before,
let's
in plain English, before, you would go for what you would see as a mediocre looking girl because she is more likely to have the personality traits that you want.
Exactly. You think so, like that would,
because, for example, if she looks smart, she's probably smart.
There's truth in what you're saying.
There's truth in what you're saying, but
there's truth in what you're saying.
It's just because the way I'm saying it just sounds extreme, innit?
But there's truth in what you're saying in that now, yeah. Like,
you are going for upper echelon.
Remember I told you I know your type, and I'm right about your type.
I don't think I have one.
Like the mad pretty type.
Mad pretty. And that's
But before you was ignoring that type because you thought there would be a certain way.
Not just mad pretty, by the way, as in like the Instagram definition of pretty. So the world definition of pretty. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So it's not just pretty. It's like, yes. It's like 100. Like the girls you find attractive, hardly anybody will find unattractive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
And before you was ignoring that because you was like, and I get it though, man. I get
I'm not
why.
saying you're far left. I'm not saying that the girls you found. But what I'm saying is that it wasn't. And
I think it's not even just necessarily like the way they look in it. It's kind of like the whole character of like,
but that's what it is though. So it's not that we're saying that it's because of the looks. It's because of how you thought that they were.
Yeah, which is very stupid.
It's how you thought that they were.
But it was how you thought that they were because of how they looked.
Because of how they looked. Yeah. Which is actually mad still.
And what they wore.
What I was saying before, there was a girl like.
But sorry, we all have mad assumptions as well.
Definitely.
Like I therefore thought that certain girls. Do you get me? We all have mad assumptions. It's just ignorance.
Let's not act like we're brand new. Let's not be brand new about it.
There was a girl, and again, like from the outside looking in, like she looked like she's one of these bad and bougie babes. Like, you get me? She was sweet and that, like, and then she was basically like what I was saying in terms of like, right, like I wouldn't expect her to do certain things, and
now she's even doing above and beyond.
She was doing what, like she did like some mad like charity thing in that, and I was thinking like, like.
Oh crap! I thought you were talking about someone else just then.
No, you're talking. I'm thinking like, right, like. Okay, like so it does make sense in that like you can't like ever like
judge a book by its cover.
You literally can't. But obviously you can like people. You can put people into certain categories or whatever in it. But then that doesn't necessarily mean like
they can come out of that category.
They can come out of that category and they can be completely different.
100%
And they can look a certain way. I'm sure 100% when people look at me, they assume that I'm a certain type of guy. And I get it.
What kind of guy do you think they assume?
They think I'm out here doing madness, whacking bum left, right, centre.
You think?
I get that all the time.
To be fair.
I get that all the time still. And even like in like, so with like boys even as well, innit? If I'm having conversations with man, they might be like, you know, like with guys, this is kind of funny as well, innit? Like, we automatically assume that we're all on just madness with girls and everything. So like, if I don't really know you like that, yeah, like the common ground would be like football. Yeah, we all like football, yeah, and girls.
Yeah.
So man would be like, the other day, like I went to drop a car and I took a rental out for the weekend. Yeah, I went to drop a car, yeah, and it was like off ends or whatever. And then I've boxed my brethren from work on the train, and he's kind of like, bro, like, what you doing around there? Like, I'm like, family, I was trying to drop the car, innit? He was like, nah, like, but what? Like, who are you seeing around there, innit?
Yeah.
Damn, I just got to drop the car.
Just imagine if they didn't, imagine you was doing something and they didn't realise you was doing something and they were saying that to you. Bro,
mate,
what the hell, man?
It's long. Or say, for example, I'll go on certain holidays and then they think, wow, like, yeah, man's out here, like, oh, we said you in LA, yeah? Ah, yeah, the girls.
I remember one time I was in gym, yeah. Imagine I told a Don I just come back from LA. He started talking mad wass about girls, like, yeah, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do just mad wass. And it's funny, my reaction, I was like, okay, yeah. So I could now see him, like, thinking, fam, like, what? Like,
on you,
so he's kind of changed the convo and I'd be like, yeah, trying to go to scenic places and that. Like, fam, because I wasn't giving him back the energy he was giving me about that. I'm talking about scenery and beautiful sunsets. I'm talking about the Hollywood sign, or did you go up in that? I move, man.
Well, yeah, I get that as well. People definitely from the outside looking in, but then when you have an interaction with me, you know that, okay, cool, I'm not really like that, which is exactly the same.
Especially you, bro.
Well, what do you think? What do you think they think? What do you think they think about you, Shay?
I don't really know, you know. It's interesting because I feel like I'm kind of more vocal about Christianity on socials. Do you know what I mean? Well, more so before, like I was very vocal. So like, how do I say it? So, you know, obviously now people posting verses, and I feel like being open about Christianity wasn't really a thing back in the days. Okay. So people weren't as open, like, as in posting verses. Whereas with me, like, if you knew me from a while ago, you know that, like,
that's what you was doing.
That's what I was doing, innit? Like, so I think, to be fair, yeah, I remember basically someone asked me a question one time. I was like, Shay, like, if I ask people about you, like, what would they say? And I was like, fam, it just depends who you ask. Do you get me? If you ask someone who loves man, they'll give you a stellar review. If you ask someone who doesn't like man, fam, I'll probably sound like the worst shoot on earth.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you get me? So for me, I think it just depends who you ask. Do you get me? Because people have seen different. Imagine I'm talking to one of my female friends, and we're just catching up now. We ain't spoken in time, and then they've told me that they spoke to one other girl, and my friends kind of mentioned my name. Like, oh yeah, I'm linking up with Shay next week. She was like, oh, what, Shay? Yeah. She was like, oh, that guy. Like, she started to say bare things. And imagine, yeah.
And this girl doesn't know you,
No, I know this girl, but imagine I haven't spoken to this girl in like 10 years. I haven't spoken to this girl or seen her in like 10 years. So whatever she's saying is from our interaction 10 years ago.
When you were a kid.
When we were kids. So I'm thinking, fam, that's why I said it just depends who you ask, fam.
But then overall...
So wait, what was she saying?
Oh yeah, finish it.
Oh yeah, she was like, oh yeah, Shay, like, you know, it just has different sides, man. Like, yeah, it might be cool with you now, and then the next time, like, he's not consistent. Just bare things. And it was like, why are you even telling her this?
Yeah, just close your mouth, man.
And the girls even come back to tell me that what this girl was saying. I'm thinking, fam, what's wrong with you?
That's mad still.
Like, what's actually, like, why am I even still such a thought in your head like that you remember this thing?
Hey.
Do you know what I mean?
It's mad.
But then again, you know what you lot always saying about, oh, you can hurt someone. And,
yeah.
I didn't
kiss his teeth like that, bro.
I didn't hurt this guy at all, so I don't know where that one come from still.
You know,
yeah, exactly, so you hurt her.
I don't know where that one come from. I didn't.
See, this is what I'm always saying to you, man. No one can come and start telling me that I hurt them because I didn't go McDonald's with them on Friday. Do you get what I'm trying to say, bro? Everything needs to be done with a reason.
But overall, though, yeah, obviously you don't necessarily. No. Overall, what do you think?
People think about that don't know me.
Yeah, that don't know you at all.
Fam, probably the same. That kind of. To be fair, I don't think they'll think I'm on slot. Do you get me?
What, as in like you're posting Bible verses on Sunday and then.
To be fair, I don't even really post Bible verses that too much anymore. To be fair, like, or that sort of like inspirational content and that no more. To be fair, I've never done inspirational content before, just Bible verses. But yeah, I just think they'll think I'm just a normal youth that, you know, has a bit of fun here and there. To get me, goes to church on a Sunday, Yeah, man. I don't think they'll think I'm an extreme. Do you get me? They'll just think. I think they'll just think I'm a normal you. Fam, someone messaged the inbox in it when you hear this podcast. Message it. Let me know what you think of us. Anyway,
I hear that.
Or your first perception, and obviously people who don't know us, please.
Yeah.
Not that be coming and messaging us while we're putting things in. Do you get me? Actually, sorry, fam, you didn't answer my question, fam. Would you date influencer now?
Yeah. Now, now I would.
Just clocked.
That's mad. You went on the whole.
Just clocked still.
Yeah, now I would still.
You would?
Yeah, I would still. I'd give it a go, innit?
I heard that.
Do you feel like now that your taste has changed a little bit, yeah, and you're like looking for an upper echelon, yeah?
This guy, man.
Do you feel like it will be harder to like abstain from sex?
Unbelievable. What is that?
No,
I was drinking my water. I just stopped. Drinking my water.
if you saw the look at my face,
yeah, I just stopped drinking my water. Just looking at him.
Rev.
No, because again, it's like.
What would you imagine? Yeah, breast. Mad still.
Bye to boy.
You're moving mad, fam.
Oh my
Man paused and just started imagining something. Like.
It's the reason why you're not doing it, innit? That remains like the foundation of everything, innit? In terms of like trying like not to have sex until marriage, or like having made that mistake before, and like realizing, okay, cool, recognizing this is a mistake and this is something I'm actively trying not to do, innit? Which is the same with like when you're with your walk with God anyway, in terms of like, cool, you've identified that I'm convicted about this, I've done this sin, and now I'm actively trying not to do this thing, innit? So because that doesn't change, I wouldn't say it would make it harder. The only thing I would say would make it harder would be like if the other person wasn't on the same page in terms of like again with me, like I want somebody who's Christian, innit? That's like a non-negotiable, innit? And a certain level of like understanding in Christianity, I guess, as well, innit? But I think with me in my last relationship, so in like the first year and the first few months of that relationship, we was having sex, innit? And then it got to a point whereby, cool, we're both convicted about it, and we both were like, you know what, let's not do this thing, and let's actively try not to do this thing, innit? And I think in that situation, yeah, I think it was more her than me, if you get what I mean, in terms of like the reason why I didn't do it, I didn't go the full length, because obviously it's one of those ones whereby it's like, you say you don't want to do the deed, but there's a lot that happens before the deed, you get what I mean? And it got to a point whereby like we were doing everything, but actually having sex. But then obviously you reevaluate and you realise, okay, cool, that doesn't make sense. That's not what you're actually, whatever. Yeah. But basically, like, I never actually, or within that period of time whereby like we were together after we had said that we don't want to do this thing anymore, we didn't. And I think it was a lot more because she was like, and I didn't want to like push that boundary with her, and she wasn't on doing that. Do you get what I mean? And because she wasn't on doing it so much, it's like, fam, I'm not gonna. It helps. It helps a lot, innit? Yeah. But if I'm in like a situation whereby like the girl is on, she's on doing the, if she's on going the full length, it will make it a lot harder. And obviously, like it's a lot more of a. It would be more of a test, innit? Yeah.
What's funny that you said? So did you feel that you had to be convicted of it before you stopped? And the reason I asked it is because you already know you shouldn't do it.
Yeah. Again, and I think something that I've said before as well in terms of like your relationship with God, innit? And like when you develop a relationship with God and when you go to certain lengths and have a certain level of understanding of certain things you won't even do anymore. You see what I mean? Certain things like you might feel as if like, I'm not talking about like sex in particular because that's like a wrong, innit? But just generally like certain things like you just won't even do anymore, innit? And at a certain point, it might have just been normal for you to do, innit?
Yeah, you're saying that's the thing. Are you saying certain things that it's not necessarily wrong to do, but things that they're just not
like, so like for me, like say for example, like going out in uni, like going raves and uni. And I remember when I was young, like that was like a thing that was like, like should you go, whatever, and I had to. It was a point whereby I was convicted about being in one. Then I no longer went to one. You get what I mean? Yeah. But just in terms of what you're talking about sex, obviously I know it's something that's wrong. And in my head, with this particular sin, it's something that like, and I lost my virginity to her, and this is when I was 18, which is quite like late in terms of like boys and virginity, innit? But late. I mean, well, in my
in this day and age, it is,
like, and at the time, I'm coming from a boys' school where man are from 13, literally, man are actually getting active throughout, innit? And I was the odd one out, innit? Yeah. So for me, my thing was like, and you know, like when there's sin, sometimes we have like a rationale as to like what makes it a bit alright. You get what I mean?
You apply bare grace.
Yeah, you apply bare grace yourself, start having silly logic. My logic was cool. I'm not gonna have sex until I have a girlfriend. Because having a girlfriend as a Christian means that you're going to marry this person. So I was thinking, raw, cool. So if I have sex with my girlfriend, who ultimately I'm going to end up marrying, is it bad? Is it not? Do you get what I mean? Like, that was my angle going in it. And it got to a point whereby, like, at the start, it was like, yeah, I'm just doing it. And then it got to a point where, like, after, like, you literally finish having sex, yeah, and it's just mad, just awkward, fam. You don't even know what to say, bro. You don't even know what to say. Like, I'm literally like, so as it's happened, and I've got up, like, and gone to the toilet, and just done something, just so I can kind of try and break the ice of crap. We both shouldn't be doing this. We both know that we shouldn't be doing this, but we've just done it. And we've enjoyed it.
It's just mad. I feel like everyone has similar experiences.
It's peak still.
The thing is that you enjoyed it. That's actually very key.
It's peak still.
What? Bro, what are you talking about,
Take away
man?
from this.
Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
Man saying the key is that you enjoyed it.
No, don't say that, dude.
So that's your message.
No. The key is not that you enjoyed it. Please, don't mix my life. Don't use that as a soundbite now, bro. Start sending it around. Don't even, please. That's not the key at all. What are you gonna say, Andy?
Is it?
About what?
You're about to say something. Oh no, you said you think people have similar experiences. We have similar experiences.
Yeah, it's just funny because when you talk about these things, it's just like everyone goes through similar experiences. You know, when they do the whole thing of, because I've done it myself, where you give yourself silly logic, and that logic is a logic as well in terms of, do you know what, I'm gonna marry this girl anyway, man. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, just allow me in it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Allow me.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so, bruv, and the whole thing of like, right, it starts off with a little one thing here, then a little. You know, you be doing foreplay or foreplays.
Yeah.
Until you get to
that one.
There's no more foreplay. There's no more foreplays. Yeah, fam. And then all of a sudden, you're just thinking, fam, alright, man, we've done this before.
Yeah.
Now where?
You know it as well, yeah. When you have it once here with someone, it makes it easier to just keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's because you broke that initial gate open. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And again, I think as well, so you see what you're talking about there, especially so when you haven't done something for time, to now jump back in again and start doing the deed, like, and actually having sex, it was so left for me. It was actually so left. I couldn't even like, and again, like, so, like I said, so I think it's important to explain this as well, innit? And that, like, so we stopped having sex, but we were still like doing stuff, innit? And then we had the conversation of stuff we're still doing wrong, innit?
Sexual immorality.
That's still sexual immorality,
that's the key thing as well, that the Bible doesn't say don't have sex. It says don't be sexually immoral. And that
covers so many more.
The spectrum is way wider.
Yeah, it does still.
Yeah.
It's way wider.
It does. And then, like, I might even go, like,
to be fair, even the spectrum even goes as wide as, fam, the Bible says if you thought about like another woman, you've committed adultery. Fam, that's how wide the spectrum is. Do you know what I mean? That's actually how wide it is.
It's actually mad.
So when you're doing the foreplay thing, you're literally at the tip of the top of the spectrum. Do you get me?
I said the tip part of the part.
Yeah, and it's mad. So I might even go like 2 months, fam, without a smooch, fam. And then you'd have the smooch, and it's just like, and then
You're a melt, bruv.
and then even like, I'm telling you, so even
I said you have the smooch and then you melt, bruv.
And then even like, there's even levels to that as well, because like, there's kissing, and there's there's mooch, but when you're like,
do you know what's funny? Do you know something always used to make me laugh? You know that school just song? He's like, come on, I'm on this lip sync. That thing used to make me laugh.
When you did Southampton when he was performing it.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, like,
really?
singing it. That would be very funny. So that would be very funny.
But I hear it still because there's a little peck that you can have and all these things.
There's a little peck and
it's just mad, because fam, when you get into a relationship, especially if it's like a fresh thing and it's like your first relationship or your second, like the tendency is to do what you've seen your parents do to a certain degree. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what you are mimicking because you're saying that, right, this is going to be your life partner or something like that. Do you get what I'm saying? Obviously, for us, man, there's other men that date. There's other men that date in a way that's like raw. They're just dating to date. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Or they have girlfriends because they want companionship. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And that's really it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But I feel like with us, man, it's always been a thing of we're doing this as a means to marriage. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So because of that, we're emulating what we see in marriages around us. So we're trying to do the whole smooching and cuddling thing and providing for you thing and all the rest of it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? We're literally playing house. Literally playing house, bruv. And that's where it starts, bruv.
Yeah. And you need to know the other person's like threshold as well, innit? So for me, like smooching and that lipsing and that was kind of like I could do it, innit? I could do it.
E-man playing with something.
Sorry, man. Sorry,
Every
bro.
damn
I was
episode.
making noise like that.
Nah, it probably was.
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah, it probably was. But yeah, I could do it. But she mentioned that, you know what? Like, basically, it's peaking it. So like, can we? And then, fam, that's how we go like 2-3 months without even.
But that's mad because we spoke about this the other day. We was talking about societal pressures, and we was like, like, listen, like the onus or the major onus is that so everyone's got to set boundaries. Everyone's got to catch themselves and catch a balance, but more so than man.
Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is in this situation, like that you can't, that yardstick, you can't measure yourself up against it basically because you just fell.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. And in certain situations, it's like, fam. So I deliberately, and after that relationship, I deliberately haven't put myself into like in certain predicaments, innit? Because I know that if I'm there, fam, it's gonna be freaking hard.
That's exactly what I'm getting at. So it's like
it's gonna be freaking hard.
Because with these things, like it's all well and good talking about we've fallen and all that kind of stuff, but how are we stopping ourselves from making the same mistakes again? Do you get what I'm trying to say? And that's, I can't even lie to you, that's part of the reason why, unless it's someone's birthday, and even birthdays and that now, I'm even starting to feel, I was even starting to feel a certain way, because it's like, fam, like, if I go to someone's birthday, like, I feel like, don't get me wrong, but the girls are already on they've got their guard down a little bit more because we're all mutuals with someone that they really know. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And it was like, fam, so before, you wouldn't go to a rave because it's like, fam, I'm just going to meet one slop girl there, and she's just going to be on it, and then whatever's going to happen. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, obviously, with consent. Do you know what I mean? Just make that very clear.
Yeah.
But now, it's like, do you know what? I'm not even going to go there because what am I really doing there? It's not really enjoyable. I listen to music in my car and I enjoy it better in my car than I do when I go to a rave sometimes. So.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it's all about what you do moving forward now. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because fam, I thought, so I'll only speak for myself in it, but for me, myself, I obviously had the same struggles as you, man. So, but and exactly what I was saying, it all started off in the foreplays, and then it graduated to the real deal, innit? And it was like, especially at one stage, where I was really getting closer to God, fam, the guilt that man felt, like I could throw up. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And the thing is, it even started to annoy me. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's like, fam, what the hell am I doing here again? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it would,
fam,
but then...
That literally, why am I here again?
Where do you draw the line between conviction and guilt, though?
You know what it is? So I feel like when it comes to sin, the natural state of a Christian should be that you despise this thing. Do you get me? Because of what it does. Because it separates you from God. Do you get me? So you actually hate this thing. Now I feel like the difference is almost like the difference between like conviction and guilt. Do you get me? In terms of like, how do I know I'm just convicted not to do it? How do I know I'm not feel guilty of it? And I feel like it's the focus. So I feel that conviction is that, like, for Christ, for me to live my life, I shouldn't be doing this. For me to be close to God, I shouldn't do this. Whereas guilt is more focused on self in terms of, oh man, like the focus is on you in terms of I just feel bad about doing this, man. Or why is it? You get me? Is that where's your lens? Where's your focus when it comes to this thing?
What you're saying is like the link between like the sin and your relationship with God. That's what makes a conviction.
That's what makes it
when you identify that call.
Not just you and the act.
So that's the thing as well. So the way that I started seeing things is like, right, listen, the reason why I don't want to do this thing is not just because, again, I don't want to use the same sound bites, but I'm not just following a set of rules, but fam, if you love someone, you don't want to do something that's going to hurt them. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And it's like, when you sin, you're doing something that hurts God, and that's how I see it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So then from there, it's like, right, actually, how can I be doing this thing and I'm saying that I love you at the same time? It's the same way, obviously, don't get it twisted. You can go deeper and there's always these other reasons and stuff, but it's the same way people say, right, how can you love someone and cheat? Do you get what I'm trying to say? There's always, that's a whole different ballgame. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. But it's the same sort of thing. Like, you're not supposed to do something to someone when you love that person.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. So now you're talking about someone in your relationship and sex. So that is that something now because you lost your virginity to your ex. Yeah, do you get me? And you were together for a while. So when you came out, was it still like, was it hard not to beat?
Yeah, definitely still. And that's when like sexual desire and like lust and these things come in, and like pornography and stuff like that as well, innit? Because I guess especially when it's like and this was in uni, so this was happening regularly. So like we were having sex regularly, innit? Like over like a certain like period of time, innit? And like literally like your body becomes accustomed to certain things. Do you get what I mean? And it's literally like a physiological thing, innit?
Yeah, of course.
And I think like you can't really ignore the fact that like physiologically, like things are actually happening to your body. Hormones are moving.
Is that where you go when you're taking drugs? You go cold turkey, fam.
Exactly.
You start bugging.
Yeah, you literally start
actually
bugging out.
used to something.
And then you try and facilitate that by obviously like things like pornography, masturbation as well. I think like with with masturbation, it's mad because like it wasn't actually a thing for me like that when I was like younger, and I guess like whereby like, and I think I went to boys' school as well, so people were banging out like
talk about it casually. Even in middle school, you talk about it casually.
Talking about it bare, like they do it, whatever. And at that time, it wasn't really a thing for me like that. Like it had happened, but it wasn't like something that kind of like had like a hold kind of in it. And I could say after like stopping having sex, that's when it became like an actual issue. I was like, yo, like this thing, like what am I doing in it? And let's say for example, after I've done it, outside of even like, so outside of linking obviously the sin to like, and the act to like distancing yourself from God, innit? Just like, what the hell am I actually doing, bruv? So you know when people say pose my clarity or whatever?
Yeah.
Man is literally sitting here, Man is sitting here, I've got tissue in my hand.
Disgusted. Disgusted, bruv.
What the frick
I can't even
am I doing?
You know what's funny as well?
What am I
That's funny as well.
doing?
If there's a mirror in front of you,
It was so funny.
The
One time,
heck am I doing?
one time, someone was like, "Right," they were like, the posting that clarity thing in it," and they were like, for some dumb reason, while they were in the height of the moment, like searching for their video and that, they went to like one of these left categories, innit?
Hey, do you remember what it was?
So I don't want to say it because I don't like using them terms, innit? But fam, so and then obviously when man's nut now, fam, bruv, like he feels so disgusted.
Hey, that's
Like he said he was
my
literally
God.
looking at himself like, no, what the hell am I
doing?
like?
Like, look at me.
Like, you know where man's moving? Like, where am I? Like, what am I actually?
Where am I?
Like, how did I get to this place in life? You know what I'm gonna say?
You know them films are like, how'd I get here?
He's like, no, I have talent. Where my talent is leading me?
Fam, it's so funny.
No, it's
but
actually
you know what's funny,
insane still.
So, I was watching something, innit? And the conclusion I got from it is that, you know how obviously we're not really meant to be exposed to like pornography. You're not really you're not really meant to watch other people have sex. Do you get me?
It's really weird when you think about it.
Fam, and you know, eventually you climax off a man and woman having sex. So then you go to same sex.
What?
Do you get me? Then you climax off that.
What?
And then eventually,
Wait, what?
so the same. So
What are you
for
talking
example,
about?
no. So for example, as a male, you're watching normal porn, and then you start watching lesbian porn. Do you get me? So then when you start watching lesbian porn, you keep going left. Do you get me? Because the same things that
To where next? Sorry, I just want to understand. Where
Fam, I don't know. You know people have mad fetishes.
Because when he said the first thing, what?
No. You know people. You know
No,
yeah, you know people have mad fetishes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And what they say is because like you've banged out
You done
the quote unquote normal things.
Yeah.
So you keep going left. Do you get me? You keep. That's how you will hear about Bill of these celebrities, fam. They'll do mad like orgies and that. Do you get me? Just mad things that, fam. It's because you've actually been banging it. Do you know what I mean? You've exhausted all options, and now you need a new thrill. Because you've been banging it
It's
out.
crazy
Fam.
still.
I don't think that's always. I don't think that's.
I don't think that's
definitely-
always the case, but it was an explanation
look-
as to why a lot of people go left.
Because I think the psychology behind fetishes is like it's a whole like number of things in terms of like stuff you've been exposed to when you was younger. Do you know what I mean? All throughout, what you're really into. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So
I hear it, man.
Yeah.
people have like foot fetish, hand fetish,
Enjoy yourself.
lips,
That's enjoy yourself, isn't it?
bums.
Obviously, when you're married, didn't
But
just say bottoms.
yeah, it was something that kind of like had a hold.
Fam, people have bum fetish, innit?
Yeah.
Fam, and the bum fetish is probably like the biggest fetish in
No, it's because I asked, man. Like, it's the way man looks at me when I said
Nigga. What I'm saying? Yeah, it had like a hold, and this is the first time I'm sharing this actually. So I remember I had an experience whereby, like, you know that sleep paralysis thing? It's as if like something was like whispering in my ear or something, and it was like in a sexual sort of way, innit? And it was as if like raw, like this thing actually has like a hold of me, kind of thing, innit? And then
What? As in you was beating the spirit, or you was getting?
no.
beat?
You're just silly, man.
Hey,
No, I guess
Fam,
it's a serious subject.
it's
a serious subject.
It's a
So
serious
for my
subject
bad.
still.
God forbid.
It's actually a serious
Hey,
subject.
God forbid. Hey, as in,
I mean, no, do you know why I say that? Because there's
how
a
funny
video.
the way you asked it as well?
Have you seen the video of that woman? And she's saying that that one spirit broke into her house and basically had sex with her, and then he was trying to cast out the demon, and he was like the oral sex spirit, and then she was like mimicking oral sex,
what?
like as
the
if like the spirit was. Yeah,
That's mad still, no.
It's
mad
I
still.
just don't plan to either.
I didn't want to see it when I watched it. I think I-
I just don't plan to see that video.
Oh, this thing actually had like a hold of me, innit?
That's crazy, though.
And then in so much so like when you have this urge, yeah, you just satisfy the urge immediately. It's like, fam, like, what's wrong with you, bruv? Like, how are you letting something like that kind of like? And this is, like I said, this is outside of obviously it being like distancing you from God and that. Just like that, fam. Like, do you get what I mean? So you can like in like a normal day-to-day life setting, people know that pornography is wrong, innit? Do you get what I mean? Like, you shouldn't. It's not a good thing to watch and stuff like that. And then obviously the aspect of it that like I'm distancing myself from God by doing this, innit? And yeah, it was more like a thing, and that helped me as well in terms of like how am I letting this thing just
control you,
take control over, man? Like how can I not just that I'm feeling the urge, I'm satisfying the urge straight away. It's like what is this, innit? That's kind of like what helped me, innit? And I think it's something, again, this is one of those things where it's constant. It's a constant battle. It's not like I've overcome it and it's gone. Do you get what I mean? That's it can probably creep back up. You know, exactly. You have to always be re-upping on it. Yeah, man. Yeah, well.
Yeah, that sleep paralysis thing is a mad thing, though. Fam, I remember the first ever time man experienced that. Yeah, fam. As soon as I got free, I just ran to my mum's room, bro. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, nah, pray for me, man. What's going on?
Yeah, fam. I've had that a couple times, though.
You know, when you turn your head to the side, yeah, and it's like it's hissing in your ear.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. That's mad. Still, that's literally exactly what I mean.
Yeah, that was mad still.
That's a mad thing still.
I actually pray, God, please just don't let me experience that.
You know, like, so times...
I just don't want it.
Hey, listen,
you know what I mean? I just don't want it.
Listen, there's been times, yeah, where I know, like, for a fact, if somebody comes into my room now, they're going to see me, like, actually fighting.
But the maddest thing is, yeah, I don't move.
Nah, fam.
I can't move.
No, as in, like, you can't, but you're... And in me saying fighting, yeah, I'm fighting to actually be like, bro, like, get off me. I'm not like freely like that's like I can't move kind of thing, innit?
Yeah.
And it's stiff, like stiff movement and all of that. But if somebody comes into my room, they will see that, oh shoot, what's happening? Like something's going on right now.
I don't think they would do.
Oh, you don't think? I think they would.
Because when I'm lying down here, whatever position I'm lying down in, I cannot move. As in, all my strength is going into moving my arms and my legs. I cannot move.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I can't speak.
You can't speak. You can't say anything.
Bruv, you can't say anything. I just about, I'm saying like blood of Jesus.
Blood of Jesus, yeah.
I'm just about saying blood of Jesus.
Like,
just about.
You literally can't even just like...
Fam, when you talk... Fam.
It's actually crazy.
It's mad still.
Madness, bruv. And then people be saying soul ties ain't real, bruv.
Hey, you're listening to Bible Babes and Banter.
I really believe in soul ties. Yeah. And I think initially soul ties is just a way to scare people from not having sex in church. Yeah. But one thing I do believe in, and I guess this is where my view might differ from other people who don't believe in soul ties, is I believe that there's definitely spiritual, there's something spiritual happens when you have sex with people.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
Something spiritual definitely happens. Do you get me?
I think that's what they've then determined to.
Yeah, but the way that they,
I know exactly. I think even the way they, even like the route in which.
So how did they describe it? Because this is the thing, yeah. Because
I think
bruv, how is sex actually taught in church though? Because you know, even for us, yeah, even for what we're talking about, yeah, and we're talking about raw, like it started off in a way where like foreplays and all the rest of it, yeah, like all of that stuff, and it's like raw, like. We were just told to not have sex before marriage. We wasn't told why. We wasn't told the things around it. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, so to a certain degree, it was a case of like figure it out for yourself. This is the thing, yeah. When you become when you're no longer like when you're disillusioned by all of the stuff that all of these authoritative figures have taught you, yeah, and it's like you're working out like like you're telling me not to go to raves, yeah, because of what can happen if I go to a rave, but I'm not doing any of those things when I go to a rave. So now you're disillusioned by the whole thing. So all of your advice. I'm now trying to dig deeper and actually
becomes advice.
Exactly, it's just advice, and I'm trying to go through everything myself, so I can actually find out the reason.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
But that's the thing about similar to what you said. Like I feel like church in general, does not teach sex well. Do you get me? So imagine when we were younger, hearing a podcast like this and where we're talking about sex, compared to how it's preached. And I'm not saying like that we're doing it the best way possible.
Yeah, because you haven't really said that.
Because we haven't actually, but the way we're talking about it, because in church, like we're taught sex is bad.
Yeah.
Do you get me? You're not actually taught.
But at least time you get married, you're supposed to have sex.
But you're meant to have sex. You're not taught sex is a good thing. A good thing that God created for you to actually enjoy is you enjoy it. It's pleasurable. It's great. You get me? You're taught it's bad. So I remember reading articles about women, and more so women than men.
I don't know if you're taught, quote unquote, that it's all bad though.
I don't
think you're taught about anything. Just don't do it.
I think you're taught it's bad.
Just don't do it.
Just don't do it.
Don't do it because it's bad, but that's normally before marriage.
Yeah.
Do you get me? But I feel like even that element is that they don't teach. So when I was younger, no one said sex is a good thing. Do you get me? They didn't tell me sex is a good thing. Sex is something that's... Do you get me? They don't teach you that. It's just don't do it. You shouldn't. Do you get me? So it's taught as a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? So even I remember reading articles about women, who after sex, because obviously the purity sort of discussion is normally forced on women more in church. Do you get me?
Yeah, it is.
So I remember the women were saying that, fam, imagine their honeymoon now, they couldn't free up.
Yeah.
They couldn't free up. Fam, they felt like even being naked in front of their husband felt like I'm doing something wrong. Or some of them was like it was too tight.
And is that because
they were
because they've never experienced anything? So because of what they were taught, they never did anything.
Exactly, they've abstained from sex. Yeah, because like sex has been taught as a bad thing. So for them, it's like how are we meant to just change? Like, even one of my brethren just told me that they have to relearn it now and be like, okay, no, sex is actually a good thing. I can like have sex. You get me? My husband, someone else can see me naked now. It's not wrong for someone to see me naked. I don't have to cover. Do you know what I mean? And they had to learn it.
I know this might not sound great, but like if I could choose one of the two, if I'm teaching my daughters like, alright, cool, sex is bad, and then she's like, oh yeah, so when I first got married, I had to start trying to, oh yeah, I'll definitely opt for that, bro.
I'll take that bullet, man.
Yeah,
I'll take that bullet.
100%.
Do you get me? But do you know what I mean? It's a real thing, and it's because like church hasn't got a healthy relationship with sex the way it's taught. It doesn't. And obviously, I feel like now, like the conversations are changing a bit. Do you get me? They're changing.
But you know what it is as well, though, yeah? Just see it this way as well. In a lot of these churches, you know that there's younger churches now where they can talk about these things. They talk about it very openly.
Yeah.
The demographic of your audience, there's not that many young kids in there. Do you know what I'm saying? But with our churches, they're family churches. And at times Sunday school wouldn't be on, or at times it wasn't a Sunday school like that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It was only for certain age groups, so there'll be bare young impressionable minds in the audience. Start talking about certain things that it's too early for them to understand. And then, do you know what I mean? It can go left. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
And I think the assumption from the pulpit is probably that everybody gets it anyway. Not even like, because obviously we're talking about like it being taught in church, but we mean like from the ground up, innit? So like you're talking about in terms of like demographic or like the audience and that. In our particular church, like pastors knows everybody in the audience is adult basically, innit? So it's like why should we? Everybody should know in his head maybe is that everybody should know what the pattern is anyway. But I remember having conversations about, I think it was masturbation. Yeah, it was because when we were in Crusaders, so Crusaders is like the teenage church, and Emo was talking about choking the chicken or something like that. Remember?
Don't remember that.
You don't remember that? Well, he was calling it choking the chicken basically, but he's somebody that was like
young.
He was our age probably at them times, and he was doing what we're saying needs to be done, innit?
Really spinning the
but like across the board again, it's not really something I've spoken about, and it can cause you to now
try and figure it out for yourself.
It's one way or the other. So it's what you're talking about in terms of like the articles and that. It could be that, or it could be, fam, you know what? Let me just see what go on, and then brother, once you taste that forbidden fruit,
bro, tune that tin, bro.
But then so not every church is like our church. In other churches, you are taught that so they teach you how to be intentional in dating, because previously I've dated someone that's come from one of these churches, innit? The only thing I didn't necessarily like is that I feel like because the way they preach about dating and stuff, it's like from day one, if someone wants to, it's like similar to what we was talking about before, yeah. From day one, if someone wants to talk to you or take you out or whatever, they have to let their intentions be known. And it hasn't worked like that since like, the 1930s or something. Before you can take someone cinema, you have to tell them I want to marry you. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Oh my days!
But do you get what I'm trying to say though? So like, it's all taught in different ways, sort of thing, yeah.
100%.
And it's all geared in different ways, innit?
And I feel like, sorry, just to interrupt you. I feel like as well, yeah. I don't necessarily think it's even the intention thing that's the main issue there. It's that the fact that the intention is either this is going towards marriage or it's not.
Nothing.
Let me know now. Do you get me?
Yeah.
But the intention could be, I just want to get to know you.
Yeah.
That's my intention.
And
Do you get me?
that's genuinely
And that's
what
my
you want.
genuine intention, to get to know you. And with the, not with the caveat, but with the very well-known fact that it might not lead anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get me? Because we might not like each other.
So going back to like soul ties, yeah. Because again, in terms of how sex is taught in church, yeah. So one of the notions is soul ties, and you're saying that you don't necessarily agree with it.
I don't believe in the way soul ties is taught. Do you get
You
me?
mean the root of it though, innit? Because I think they talk about like I'm not too sure it might have been Adam and Eve, but you know when they say two become one, basically.
Yeah.
So that's the verse that when I've heard about soul ties,
yeah.
that's what I've heard. When that verse is probably not talking about that in particular, innit? So you know when you have I think it's like it's one of those things. It's a theory, innit?
Yeah.
So you know, like for example, in sociology, psychology, whatever you're doing, innit?
Yeah.
Somebody has now seen something and now created a theory out of it, innit?
Yeah.
And not to say that theory doesn't have validity or that theory isn't true, but when it comes to the Bible and you're using a specific verse or specific chapter or whatever, if it's not talking about that specifically, innit? Again, I'm kind of with you in terms of like, don't use that to now say, okay,
justify
cool,
to
justify that, because it's not talking about that.
Yeah.
But obviously, like what you're saying is like, fam, obviously sex is for pleasure,
Yeah.
but sex is also for the creation of a human being, innit?
Yeah.
So imagine spiritually what's happening. What's happening when that?
Because
when
it
that's
would be naive. It would be naive to think that there's no spiritual
no,
implications.
there's spiritual implications.
It would be
Yeah,
naive
absolutely.
to think that. Do you get me? Especially as Christians, fam.
100%.
We know the way this world is.
Sorry, because can I just confirm? So when it says to become one, you don't agree. You don't agree
Right.
that that's basically inciting that your souls are now tied or whatever. Not it doesn't have to be souls, but so you're saying like your spirits are now tied, for example.
No, but so I know he's asking you, yeah. But in general, it's just the way that they teach soul ties. So the way I've heard it be taught is like, it's like there's such heaviness with it. Like, okay, you've had sex with this person now you've got all this person's issues, you've got all this person's problems. The problems that you have now is taken on. Oh, you've had sex with this person now. That means that the problems that they had. That means that
With their ancestors
do you get me? Like, there's so much in it that it's just not like, where have you got this from? Do you get me? And I get that what you're trying to kind of show is there are spiritual implications to it, and that's probably the route that we should address. Like, okay, the spiritual aspects, the spiritual consequences of just having sex with different people. There's definitely that. There's even very human consequences for it, even aside from the Christian element of that. Maybe you can even explore that as well, innit? But the way we've been taught soul ties, so if they said soul ties when we're younger and taught it in a different way, I may agree with it. Do you get me? But the way that it's been taught, fam, it just doesn't. Even the word soul ties, I think that they use that David, that was his soul was tied with someone, I can't remember, man. Someone in the Bible. But it was his friend.
Yeah, I was about to say that you can be soul tie is like you can have a soul tie with a friend as well. It doesn't have to be like necessarily through sex. So I believe, for example, like if
the way it sounds is like it's like you know when you get like a financial association on your credit report. You know, like if you, for example, if you buy a house joint with someone, they're now linked to your credit report. So their credit history is kind of linked with your thing. Yeah. So that's what it sounds like when you talk about soul ties.
You can have it's just like a man. Obviously, when we're talking about sex, it's different because it's like a spiritual, like actual physical thing that's happening in it. But I think you can have a soul tie with a friend, like somebody who's like who you connect with.
So if you can have a soul tie with a friend, why can't you have it with someone that you've had sex with?
No, but you can do, innit? But I'm just mean in terms of. So seeing it, so like what Shay's saying, and what I agree with is like seeing it in terms of the way that they see it and the way it's taught, as in like what we were just saying now, innit, about like now you've done that. That means that because this person's great grandma was like this, or she was a witch, and then that means that because of that now, like it's not necessarily.
But that's
like
different. That's a generational.
Yeah, but then they say stuff like, because say for example I have sex with girl A, now because girl A's whatever's now happened in her family, I might now have some mad illness and then randomly be struck dead because I had sex with her.
So very quickly as well, for 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 1 says, after David finished talking with Saul, Jonathan became one in spirit with David, and he loved him as he loved himself. So I've heard a lot of people, and another version says that Jonathan was knit to the soul with David as well, innit? So
So
I've heard a lot
down to colloquial languages.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people use that. And again, like, I don't necessarily think that soul ties. I think the way that soul ties have been taught is wrong. Not necessarily that there can be some
The
sort
concept.
of tie. Not necessarily that, like I said, there are definitely spiritual implications. But the way it's been taught to us, I think it's been taught to us more of a scare tactic. Do you get me? More than an educate. Like this is what happens.
The thing is as well, I feel like a lot of the arguments I see against it is that it's sort of from a worldly view sort of thing, and it's like, you know how the Bible talks about like, listen, like, be careful of like these cleverly devised arguments and ideologies and all that kind of stuff. Because fam, the thing is, if we're talking about something spiritual, it's obviously is not going to be something that is obviously visible to the naked eye. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? So you can't be talking, trying to say, alright, cool, I can see, physiological changes or physical changes in someone, and that's how I can determine whether there's a soul tie or not. Do you know what I mean? Like, another verse that I actually used to read and think, okay, cool, so this is insinuating that there is some form of tie to who you sleep with. Is John. John. Let me actually open it up real quick so I can actually just read what it says, because I haven't read it in a while, but I quickly Googled the story that I was thinking about in my head, didn't it, just to see where it was. So, John 4:16, not 3:16. And everyone loves 3:16, bro. Even if you're not a Christian, you know John 3:16 still. But yeah, so John 4:16, and he was like, so this is Jesus talking. He said, he told her, go call your husband and come back. And she said, I have no husband, she replied. Jesus said to her, you are right when you say you have no husband. The fact is, you have had 5 husbands, and the man you now have is not your husband. What you have just said is quite true. So basically,
Jesus was bare shady. How can you say go and get your husband? She said, I've got one. I said, yeah, I don't.
He said,
yeah,
you're right.
You're right.
You have no husband.
You have no husband.
And he said, the fact is, you have had 5 husbands, bruv. No, that is mad. I can't lie to you, that is mad.
It's true though, it's true.
So if you think about that and what you're saying in that, so principle of the next verse, obviously go there, read it, and like tell me what your thoughts are. But do you know what I mean? From that alone, it's already insinuating that because she's been with 5. Like, a piece of you have gone to these 5 men and you've exchanged something. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, pieces of both of you have been exchanged. So that's another thing that I feel like leads me in the direction to think that there is a lot more to sex than just a physical
and even when
exchange.
100%.
I think people use this example, and I think it's a lot more used when it comes to like females, innit? I haven't heard this example used with males, innit? You know when girls have an attachment to a guy, and that attachment is like, fam, as in like, so whatever. Have you seen the what's her name? It's one of these, I think it's Karen Steffens or something like that, but she's talking about Lil Wayne basically, and how like, if Lil Wayne phones me, like wherever I am, whoever I'm with, whatever.
Though, man.
No, but I think there's like, so you know, like, so that's like the extreme example of it, But I think there's
like
a lot
Janae Aiko and Big Sean, for example.
Okay,
the way she's bloody on him, it's ridiculous.
There's like, I think obviously you look at that example of the Lil Wayne one and you think, oh my god, like how could you do? But then I've seen situations whereby the girl is essentially doing the exact same thing as what this girl is, Stephens or whatever she's saying, and people say that that's because of a soul tie as well, isn't it? In that like they can't actually let go of this person. So no matter what it is that this person does to them, regardless of how they treat them, regardless of if they know how the person now sees them, if the person does bad to them or whatever, because you're so tired with this person. It's as if like you can't move past that person as well.
I remember again, so 2 instances where I remember the first time a girl I actually know was talking about how she actually saw the guy she was having sex with consistently, and like she actually started to like, so he had a temper, and this girl's one of the calmest girls. She was like, she just got a temper. Do you get me? And like there was problems that he was going through.
The only thing I'll say about that is just that in terms of personality traits, that's something you can pick up from being around someone.
Yeah, being around someone.
Listen, again, I'm not saying that this is an example of a thing, but I'm saying that similar to what you said in terms of you've heard examples, That's also another example I've heard. There was also a mad time when Dammy was telling me she went to one church, fam, and they were praying for one girl, and she was just bugging out for like an hour and a half straight, and they were praying for her, and she was speaking bare like there was like a demon in her, and she was speaking bare like, okay, you can't get me out. This has happened. No, I still want to have sex with it. Like bare things. Do you get me? And the demon's just splitting it out. And obviously, to be fair, that one's not even necessarily just soul tie. That one is. Do you get me? Like.
Someone's backflipping in your room and the rest of it.
Well, listen. So basically, my point is, you lot just be careful with that sex.
See, with that sex.
With that sex, just be careful, fam. Have you heard like the Juj stories with sex?
Brother.
Bro, listen. So
you know, that one that I heard on that 90s baby thing.
Yeah, that was
Tommy.
scary. It's funny because it's mad because Shea has told me that story countless times, innit?
I'm not talking about the one where like everyone dispersed like milk when it.
Oh, you mean the crystal ball?
I'm talking about the one where.
No, I'm
talking about the crystal ball
thing
with the heart palpitations and that.
What are you talking about?
Backflip.
I'm talking about candles.
Shea has told me that story like so many times, innit?
Fam.
And it get like
from time ago as well.
It's like I believe it. But I was like, fam, and I remember when I heard the 90s baby thing, and I was like, hey, shit. Does my man know Tom?
Yeah.
No,
and he said, yeah, and I was like, oh my
fam,
days.
And what's mad, after Tom said it, fam, I got like 3 messages.
People asking you,
I said, fam, it's the same story, bro.
Did it happen to you?
God forbid, bro.
Yeah, I was about to say. But what that? My logical mind, my logical way of thinking is that, so there's candles all over this room, and there's still space for her to do backflips around you. Where was you?
The backflip went around the youth.
She just did backflips in the line and then coming back and doing backflips again.
It's bad because
it went around the youth.
Like, was it
Fam,
just
he
like,
should put his leg out and trip her out.
Fam, you know what's mad? Because he said that he beat in the morning.
Yeah, he said he woke up and
he beat in the morning.
No man are tapped.
That's insane.
But think about it here. Think about what you're saying about the stronghold.
The stronghold, yeah.
Fam, think about the stronghold. You've seen someone do backflips with candles. Yeah. You still want to beat.
The thing is, in that situation, he said he woke up. He said he woke up and saw her doing it, and he just went back to sleep. In that situation, I don't think I could go back to sleep. I
definitely can't.
I'll be trying to go back to sleep, but I'll be throwing up at the same time.
I'll definitely pretend to go back to sleep. Then when she gets back to sleep, I'm busting the hell out, bro.
Fam, you try to get up and start floating, bro. I'll be like storm. I start turning into silver.
That's insane, bro.
Fam, listen, I remember another story, So imagine, there's 2 youths in it, and so there's 2 youths dealing with 2 girls, and these 2 girls are family. Do you get me? So one goes upstairs, one's upstairs in the bedroom, and the other 2's like, there's no other like place in the house that's free. So the other 2 goes to the bathroom, because that's the only other free bit in the crib. Do you get me? So imagine now, like upstairs, the other youth knows that the other youth, he's getting it in. Do you get me? Because they can like hear them in the room and that. The other youth's trying to get active as well, so he's kissing the girl's neck, like they're kissing and that, and they're getting there, and then she'll stop it. So he'll stop as well, innit? Do you get me? Then they'll start kissing again, and like the girl will stop it, and he's thinking, bruv, like what do you want? Do you not want it? Do you want it? You get me? So then eventually now he tries again, or they're kissing, touching, and she's like, nah, stop, like don't do it. He's like, alright, cool. So then they leave the bathroom, and fam, he's just waiting for his boy, because he knows his boy's just enjoying himself. So he's waiting. The boy comes out now, they both leave, innit? So obviously he's kind of annoyed that like nothing's happened. Do you get me? So obviously now, this guy now, let's say he's walking on the road here, he will see this girl on the road, the girl just walk past him. The girl act like she didn't see him. They just won't communicate. They won't talk.
Wait, which guy are you talking about now? You talking about the one that got it in or the one that didn't?
The one that didn't. So the 2 in the bathroom, that boy and that girl will see each other, and like the girl just moved kind of mad, but the boy just thought, whatever, man. You know, sometimes girls it's just not a big thing, innit? Whatever, innit? It's funny, everyone's like,
do you know what I'm funny?
Sometimes you just be mad. You're like, yeah, alright, cool. It's in character. You're alright. So imagine.
Like, you don't know me, okay.
Okay.
I wasn't sucking breast.
I'm
not saying that's a good thing, by the way.
way.
I just like to suck breast. I didn't want to catch phone, but these things are not for you.
So obviously now, long story short, the boy and the girl start talking again. Do you get me? So they become friends. And this is like a year and a bit later. If I know what the girl says, she was like, oh yeah, basically, I didn't want to have sex with you. I was protecting you. He's like, what do you mean you're protecting me? So then...
I can't lie, sorry. Ever since you started we started hearing stories like that now, fam, If someone says something like, "Right, I didn't do this because I was trying to protect you," I'll just start busting out. Red flag.
Fam, so she was like, I'm trying to protect you. He's like, fam, what are you talking about? Fam, the girl was saying that like back home, yeah, because she's from some, I can't remember. I think somewhere in East Africa, somewhere. She was like, back home, it's like basically her grandma, when they were younger, yeah, their grandma took them to like a river to get prayed over. Do you get me? And they like bathed them in that river and that, innit? And she was like, how everybody that she has sex with, when she goes back home now, their faces come up in the pool. And then
moving like, what's his name?
What?
Oh, we like it.
Their faces come up. Their faces come up in the pool, and then basically the grandma say, "What one do you want?" Do you get me? And then she picks the one that she wants, but you're going to be in love with her. You're just going to be in love with her. She was like, "I was trying to protect you."
I'll go to that river and throw up in it.
Yeah, she back out for her.
And that's just. I think we hear many stories about like Juj and sex.
So wait, no, but do you know what? Like, what she must be. That person must have some real, or she must just be been exposed to it a lot then, because to go to a river and see faces swimming around is already that's enough.
Insane.
Like,
no, think about it though. Think about it though. So she's been brought up in it. She's been brought up in it. So I think one thing people forget about Juj, yeah, is that people's parents are doing Juj. People's grandparents are doing Juj.
It's ancestral
people
stuff,
are living in Juj, fam.
Yeah.
Like people are living in it. Do you get me?
Yeah, for them it's cultural.
It's cultural, fam. People are doing Juj. Like certain people's houses, they're shrines.
Yeah.
There's shrines. Like it's not like a mad thing for some people. It's how they've grown up. So when you hear young people are doing Juj, why wouldn't you? What your parents do?
Your parents do it. Your mum is telling you to go to
uni. When you say there's shrines in people's houses, remember that NSG bar is like, F around, I'll take your pick to the shrine.
Fam. And we're singing. Is that a joke?
It's no joke.
Is that a joke? Fam. But there's so many stories on that, fam. I remember one time, I'm not gonna lie, I went to one girl's house, yeah. Fam, I just didn't do anything with this girl. Imagine I've gone to her house now, yeah. And like I've gone inside and we're chilling now, so she's telling me to come to the living room first, but we stopped by in the kitchen. Do you get me? She says, let me get like, do you want a drink? I'm like, yeah, let me get a drink in it. We got like apple juice, whatever. So I look under the table, yeah. This could be nothing in it. But fam, there's like a bucket, yeah, of just black water. It's just black.
Oh, the pipe was leaking, bro.
No, bro, it's black here, but you don't. It's like it's been preserved.
Is it kind of thick?
It kind of, but it's not that you've just collected.
Is it? I'm gonna head out.
But it's like it's been preserved. It was like preserved water, and it was black. And there was like a stirring thing in it. I said, yeah, you know what? I said, you know what? Yeah, man, I just chilled there for a bit.
So you go shop.
I chilled there for a bit.
Do you know that? Because you can't.
That's up.
Exactly. There can't be
no
no red flags in your behaviour.
If they clock, you clock. That's it.
That's it.
She just come in and put that whole water on your body.
Start bugging out, bro.
You start I'm melting. Listen.
I'm ready for 2 nights.
Hey, listen, nah, that's a magic stuff.
Hey, listen.
Nah, but do you know what? There was a period at uni where I actually was getting mad shook to eat at anyone's house because I was thinking, fam, I've heard like 3 voice notes now where these girls are talking about hair and period blood and putting it in people's stew.
I heard something like that, yeah.
God.
And I was like, do you know what it is, yeah? Even before the judge, it is actually disgusting. It is actually disgusting.
My mum told me about one time. This is in Nigeria, though, isn't it? How
The fact is in Nigeria, it's just funny.
there was a barbecue. So my mom's always like, be careful where you eat. Be careful where you eat. That's always a thing, innit? Even in your dreams, you're eating a dream. Be careful.
Oh yeah. Apparently, if you eat your dream, it means something mad.
Yeah. Apparently, fam, you ate your dream before, innit?
Yeah, of course. You've never eaten in your dream before?
Never.
So I've
never been at a banquet in my dream.
You what?
It's impossible. I've never been at a banquet in my dream, bro.
Hey, ate your dream, bro. Hey, he's a guy.
Yeah, I need to actually find the video.
By the way, so
I need to find the video
happens,
where they explain it. They actually explain what it means to eat in your dream, what it means to go to a certain thing in your dream and all that.
That's fine. But after any of that happens, you wake up and you pray about it because my mom has obviously said,
yeah.
So she's always said, be careful where you eat or whatever. She used this example, innit? She's like how there's one lady in Nigeria. She was having like a big barbecue, innit? Like a proper big barbecue or whatever. And let's say like we're brethren here and you're having a barbecue. I shout at you. I'm like, oh yeah, like what you saying? What time you getting ready or whatever, innit? Or do you need me to do anything? And the lady was like, oh no, just like a few bits and bobs or whatever. Yeah, I've come to the house. I'm kind of early in it, but before everybody. And like she can't find the lady in it, so she's just looking around or whatever. And someone's just like, oh, she's gonna look in the bathroom, innit? The lady was in the bathroom with all of the meat. So she was bathing in the meat. that everybody was gonna barbecue with.
Nah, what the hell's going on, man?
She was
hell is
in
going
the
on?
bathroom for them to meet.
Do you know how disgusting that would look?
Oh wait.
What was it something like? Oh, it's because like when you eat the food, they take the blessing or something.
Fam.
Yeah, we eat the food, you're gonna take the blessings.
Listen, I'm not even trying to be ignorant, man. Because you lot are laughing bad at this thing, yeah, but fam. I swear, I might not even go to a barbecue for a while. Them man are bathing in the meat that you're about to eat.
Alright.
So it's not actually meat stock, it's sweat. That is dirt. That is disgusting.
Oh, bro, I'm getting hot.
Alright, that is
mad.
funny.
Nah, that is jokes though.
Nah, but some of the just stories, yeah, like I remember when my uncle came back and he's telling me about Ra. You know, like university back there is mad.
Nah, it's
Oh my god.
Fam.
Fam.
So like they were on campus, yeah, went to a party or whatever, and like there was like a field with goats, like outside the campus hall, innit? And obviously like the room, the halls that they were doing it was packed, whatever the room they were doing it was packed. So one of his brothers couldn't get to the other side of the toilet, where the toilet was. So he's just been like, F it, man, I'm just gonna piss out this window. And he's looked out the window, he's like, oh, there's only like goats and chickens and all that kind of stuff there, so it's calm. So he's pissed out the window and all that kind of stuff, yeah. Thought nothing of it. The next day, yeah, so my uncle's getting into uni now, yeah. And he said that, like, he's seen his brethren, yeah, and he's been held up by some girl, innit? And he was like, fam, like, his brethren's not weak. My uncle's not weak, innit? He does the whole gym thing, innit? And he was like, right. He's like, the boy's not weak, so he's looking at him like, fam,
Patted up.
cut me from this. He's like, what's going on, fam? Said that he tried to remove the grip, yeah, fam. Like it was like a supernatural grip, like superhuman grip. He said, to be fair, yeah. And then basically the girl so everyone's like, okay, cool. Why are you holding him? It's been like an hour now. Why are you holding this guy? What's he done? He said, oh, like a couple nights before, he weed on her head.
She was the girl.
Fam. So basically, I was just like, listen, I don't know how you lot hear stuff like this and you're still okay to be in the same facility as the people. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
No,
Like,
but it's like, fam, it's literally like, again, because of stuff like, when you say like it's ancestral and stuff like that, so like it's around, innit? So I remember watching one of these YouTube things in Nigeria, you know, like how you do like these little docu-series sort of things. I can't remember what the channel is, innit? But they go around and they do things. They went to like a juju market. And it was like an actual, it's a
where
thing.
they're just selling.
They're actually selling. And he's gone there. No, the lady's gone there. She's like, oh yeah, so what's this? And he's like,
what you have jewellery here and then you have Juj stuff here, right next to it and then next door.
So like, it's very much like in your face, isn't it? Like you see.
There was one time I was driving in Nigeria, yeah. So imagine I'm driving and then I'm driving past like, by the side of the road is like a forest.
I know you can say,
And then imagine by the side of this road, yeah, there's like a sign, yeah, that's slanting downwards that says native doctor.
Into the forest. And it's just on the normal road. And slanting down into the forest saying, I was thinking, fam, where am I? I remember when I went to Abeokuta as well, like again, similar things like that. I just see bare just like stuff that's like, oh, like, raw, what's that? And I remember we must have been, I didn't go to the market, right? I was in the car in it because market is long for me, I can't lie. Market in Nigeria is actually long. I might do market in Nigeria still. But I was in the car in it. And then there's these two women that are walking towards like the car in it, just around, and like in them walking, they're stopping and kind of like trying to say something to people and like show them something, innit? And these women are very like, they're really dark. Like this is like probably like the darkest person that I've seen like face to face, innit? They're very, very dark, innit? And they're wearing all white. And my mum was like, oh yeah, like they're the people that they worship the water and that. I'm thinking, brother, like the way she just said like that these are the casually, oh yeah, like them man, they just worship the water and that. And they had like they were holding something in it that they were trying to show to people and stuff like that, innit? It's like, it's very much like,
it's just open and out there, innit?
Another story, I don't mean to just overload with stories, but I remember one time, I was in a car with Wally, innit? And I was telling one story, about that one time, he was driving in Nigeria.
His name's actually Wally.
Yeah, right, thanks.
Wally's a different name. W-O-L-E.
Alright, anyway. So one time, I was driving Wally, and I was saying that one time I was driving in Nigeria, and it was late, it was dark. You know that there was no lights on the roads. It's like the A2. There was no lights, so it was just driving. So then he hears a noise, and he hears noises, like, so he's kind of slowing down, innit? Do you get me? But he's still driving. So then he slows down now, and he's like, what's this noise? There's someone shouting. So he slows down, winds down his window. Fam, he said, basically, a baby, basically like a 1-year-old baby, or not even less than 1-year-old, with an adult face has come out. Has come out of the bush saying, help me, fam. He said he just skirted off bare quick.
Oh my goodness, bro. Stuff like that, yeah.
Do you know what's a bit left of this, yeah? You know them pranks? Them
I hate you still.
Hey, do you know how jokes is? Like, it's a prank. Have you seen the one in Jamaica?
Nah.
When he actually brings out a knife and that?
No.
It's like, it's a prank, man. But man, it's too funny still.
But basically, yeah, you know the so there was one prank here where some guy's getting on the Okada, yeah, and he's like, raw. He stops the Okada man, and he's like, raw, listen, yeah, I'm just trying to get to wherever, 10 minutes away, whatever. And he'll be like, okay, cool, yeah, hop on, sort of thing. Then he'll turn to the side, start talking to nobody. And he'll be like, okay, cool. All right, get up. And then he'll be like to the Okada man, he'll be like, yeah, all right, cool, yeah, okay, thank
Let's
you.
go, yeah.
He's like, what? He said, no, my father's spirit is on the back. No, brother Jesus, get out. Yeah, the mad thing, fam.
I see one of the ones where he goes to one knee, he's like, why didn't you come to my funeral? Like,
Yeah, I see that one.
Yeah.
like, blood of Jesus. And the guy starts bugging out.
I wonder if you can buy it, because as he's saying blood of Jesus, he's like,
Yeah.
And it's bare funny that they think that's
They think
making
it's
a
working.
difference.
Yeah.
He was like, who sent you? Like, blood of Jesus?
Yeah.
It's funny, bro.
That thing is funny.
It's bare funny. It's like, he feels like, say blood of
But
Jesus.
it's
like
annoying when
whipping it.
people move mad naive, man, about they're like, oh, like, how comes Juju only affects people that believe in it? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, bruv.
So it doesn't still.
Do you know what it is, yeah? If Judge, yeah, basically, yeah, if you don't believe in Judge, they've already got one up on you to a certain degree. Do you get what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
So already they don't need to worry about you like that. They got you to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Case by case. But
Do you know what it is as well, yeah? Like, one reason, because when I was younger, obviously Judge was kind of normal, like, for youths to be doing it, they used to do Judge.
exactly.
Do you get me? So that was my first interaction with Judge, youths doing Judge. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Youths, I remember hearing, like, someone has told me that, I remember they were talking about a madness that happened. Imagine someone is, like, imagine they're at the top of their estate, and, like, the other sides have come. They're like, aye, like, come down, innit, we're here. So everyone else is ducking, and this one youth is like, no, go and shoot, man. Like, shoot, man. And they're shooting, they just keep missing. And the youth has actually said, yeah, as in, he was like, yeah, like, I could see the bullets. Man said, I could see the bullets. And you're listening to Bibles, Babes, and Bands. This stuff is real, do you get me? It's actually real. And I guess, fam, I guess you need to look at things like when you get involved in certain situations and certain madnesses, you always have to make sure that, okay, God, like, let me see things the way you see them. Do you get me?
I think that one of the things you've got to be aware of as well is that I've heard on a few occasions now where people have been like, raw, like, there's like 60,000 of us or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, brother, like, do you know what that actually means? Like,
That's
even when you're out here doing sugar mum and sugar dad and that, yeah, fam, like, you don't know what background these people are coming from. Do you know what I mean? When you're out there just being out here in the roads and all these things, yeah, you don't know the background of these people.
Yeah.
You haven't had time to do your due diligence on these people.
Yeah.
So now, yeah, when we talk about not having sex before marriage and all the rest of it, yeah, like, part of the reason why is going to become, listen, you haven't had enough time to do your due diligence to understand this person's family and where they come from.
Yeah.
Back in the day, yeah, the person that you wanted to marry, their family was such a big deal.
Big
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Such a big deal, because ancestrally, if their family were a family of this or that, then you wouldn't go there.
Whereas now, fam, we're not really like that.
Yeah.
Do you get me? We're just like, more so, we love the person. Do
It's
you
like
get me?
our CRB starts and ends in London,
Yeah.
which is mad.
But then again,
What can we do?
What can you do?
How did you already do, bro?
You have to pray.
But this is the thing,
People
yeah.
don't know how
'cause
to pray.
the scary thing
People
about
don't
it,
know
yeah,
how to
is that
pray.
when our parents eventually move on, yeah, as in like
Pass.
yeah, like it's like we don't have access to that knowledge anymore,
Yeah.
which is a mad thing.
Yeah, man. So I feel like, obviously we've spoken about a lot, do you know what I mean? But I feel like there's a few key takeaways to go away with, innit? So I think one from my perspective is definitely, despite all these things, you should never be fearful.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you should never carry that sort of spirit of fear, because the Bible says God didn't give that to us. Do you get me? So that spirit of fear, like, oh no, like being too timid in these situations, I don't think you should carry that. That shouldn't be the case. You should walk with sort of confidence and faith that God will just guide you through. Do you get me? And keep you away from those sort of situations. Do you
just gotta be careful as well, innit? Like, just be a lot more like deliberate when it comes to certain things, like, for example, like your prayer life as well, and try and make sure that's something that's constant. And even in terms of reading your Bible as well, the Bible talks about the Bible being a two-headed sword, innit? And in these sort of situations,
or edged.
You know what I mean?
Mad.
I thought I was gonna pick up on that.
I'm gonna let you flow, but
Two-headed.
fam, that's how someone here will start. Those start flipping the page of the Bible very quick to check whether you're right. Fam.
Yeah, so the Bible's our weapon, innit? So let's use that. And again, in these sort of situations, these are the things whereby we can use that to combat and just allow us to be at peace, really.
Yeah, man. The thing is, you got to live your life as well. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, don't. Yeah, one of the things that people do a lot of the time is when they start looking into like conspiracy theories and all the rest of it,
start bugging.
like you start bugging and you forget how to just live life normally. Like, obviously, you don't want anyone to run mad. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Obviously, if things are really affecting you, that seek advice. Do you know what I mean? Always seek biblical counsel. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But just try and live for Christ. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I was gonna say live normally, but that's what I mean at the same time. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So
yeah, I definitely get that. To live normally, man. You just do it the same way you go to work every day, you go college, you go uni every day. Do you get me? You still function in these things normally, but if you go into all situations, being prayerful and being watchful.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So be prayerful, be watchful in them situations, and God, and that's where trusting in God comes into it. Do you get me?
Yeah.
It's not just trusting God for the big things, just trusting God for the everyday things. Do you know what I mean? Trusting God will steer you away from situations. Wow.
It's because you said what you said about me before, bro.
Yeah.
Now it's come back to bite you.
Why are you cursing, man, bro? What are you doing?
Shut
you know what I mean? It's mad.
We're talking about anyway, but yeah, man, just trusting God will guide you.
Just trust.
I know, man.
You're moving mad now.
Aye, what's happening, man? What's happening? I'm tired. But yeah, trusting God will guide you and lead you in all situations, and just steer you clear of sort of those sort of situations and those sort of things, man. Do you know what I mean?
Prayed up, man. Stay prayed up.
You just got to be a constant thing whereby, like, you're constantly, I guess, like,
Covering
praying,
yourself.
constantly covering yourself. When you're going out on the drive, pray. You know what I mean? When you leave your house, pray, and then you're covered, man. Literally.
Talk to God, man. It's a relationship thing. It's not a set of rules, innit? It's not. I keep on saying that so many times, but
It's true. So you have to drum it home, because it's not.
Yeah, for real. And the relationship thing comes into, you know, the way God speaks to you about things. You get me? When you build that relationship. So you will know when God is steering you away from a situation. You will know when God is taking you to a situation. Do you know what I mean? So it's important to build that relationship and to sort of just hone into God, man, on what he's saying about these things. But yeah, man, I think for me, man, the key one is just don't be fearful, man.
Exactly.
Don't be bare scared, man. Just don't be bare scared. It's not like
at the same time, I tell you not to be scared. You know, some people out of not trying to be scared will go out there,
be wild, did it?
Listen, just like the Bible says, don't awaken love before it's time. Don't go and awaken something that don't go and invoke any spirits that you don't know about. Do you know what I mean? Like, just chill out. Do you know what I mean? Like, seek wise counsel. Do you know what I'm trying to say as well?
Yeah, man, definitely, man, 100%. So you've been listening to Bible Babes and Banter. And follow us on Twitter, on Insta at Bible Babes and Bants. Send us any emails, any questions, any dilemmas at biblebabesbants@gmail.com. Feel free to interact with us, send us any messages, man. We're here individually as well. So yeah, man. See you next time. Be blessed.